Hi everyone, this is Ara Derdarian of the HD TV and Home Theater Podcast, and you are looking at my Black Diamond 100-inch screen. And that is what we project our JVC DILA reference series projector, it's 1080p, onto. Now if you see right up above here, you'll see where the HDMI cable comes out of the ceiling, and it runs all the way across there and then comes down behind the screen and comes out right there. By the way, that's where I had my center channel. It's just kind of a mess right now, but I've temporarily built out of plywood just a little stand for the center channel because the ultra short throw projector will be going there in the very near term. But one of the issues that I had was the reason I'm going with the ultra short throw is because I didn't want to have, I had to call an electrician to come out there and run that cable because I also put in some power, as you can see right up there. That power wasn't there. I had the electrician do that, and so as long as he was up there, I had him run the cable. The issue that I had was that there's no crawl space to get to. This is an addition, and right there is the beam, and that's kind of where the crawl space ended on that side. And so there's no way to get to it. And what they did was in my office, in there, it's a mess, they cut a hole in the ceiling and they crawled up in there. So it was a very costly effort, but I just had them patch up the hole because I didn't think I'd be going back up there. That's my long way of saying it's very difficult to get a high-speed cable that will do that span. That is probably about maybe 40 feet when you include the drop and everything down to there. So I decided, one, having a cable to run that long is probably be difficult to find a high-speed cable that does that. I could probably use fiber optics or HDMI over Ethernet, but that just adds to the complexity. So what I've got here today is a HDMI, a wireless HDMI that'll support 4K. And what we're going to do is we're not going to run that here. We're going to go downstairs on the TV, and what I'm going to use as my source is an Apple TV, and then I'm going to run it to my television, and so that's going to simulate the projector. The difference is it will, in this environment here, I would have the source connected to the receiver, the output of the receiver, sending to the output of my AV receiver, and that'll go to the transmitter, the wireless HDMI transmitter, and then that will go up to here where I would have the receiver, the wireless HDMI receiver up there, just probably sitting right on top, and then connecting to the HDMI connection of the projector. So we're just going to do that downstairs in a simulated way simply because I don't have 4K here, and while we would verify that it would work, the whole point is to see if we can get 4K reliably transmitted. So we'll go down there in a second and get that set up. Kitchen, and playing the part of the AV receiver is the Apple TV. That was going to be our source of 4K content. I just recently purchased this because I'm going to use this with the ultra short throw projector that's going to go up in that projector room. Then we have the IOGEAR ultra fast 60 gigahertz wireless adapter. It's a 4K video extender, and there's the box that it came in. And you can see this is what it looks like. It's pretty solid. It looks like brushed aluminum. Here are the connections. So one of these is the transmitter, one's the receiver, and you'll have your HDMI. We need to have power, and we'll kind of get into it. These come prepared. So let's get that set up and see how well it works. Okay, so that's everything out of the box. We got your power adapter, really small, light, easy to plug in. They give you HDMI cable, high-speed HDMI cable, so you got everything you need. And then on the bottom is where it'll tell you whether it's a transmitter or the receiver. This one is the transmitter, and that's the receiver. So whatever source, the receiver is going to go in front of, be connected to the display device. So in the case upstairs, it would be the projector. In this case, it's just going to be the television. And then the transmitter will go to the whatever your source is. So upstairs, it would have been the output of my AVR. And in this example, it's going to be the Apple TV. So let's get that set up. I keep telling you that, but next time it actually will be set up. All right, so I got everything hooked up. The pairing took a little while. It has to, you have to do it in a specific order. You have to do the transmitter first and then the receiver. Then you get this solid amber light blinking on, this is the receiver. Come over to the transmitter here. And we got a solid blinking light. We have our Apple TV. And what we're gonna do is with the remote control, sorry, I'm kind of juggling things here. We're gonna hit info, and you can see it's 2160p. I get out of the glare there. All right, so we got 4K content, or at least a 4K desktop for the Apple TV. Now let's go over to Netflix. All right, for the video playback or performance evaluation, I closed the blind so it looks a little bit better. Let's verify we have 4K, so we have 2160. All right, and then we're going to go to Netflix, and we're going to, I got to reach down here for a remote. We're going to go to Netflix and see if we can find a 4K title. Picked up the wrong Apple TV remote. I've got two of them in here. Here we go. Okay. And that's, whoops. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that click. That's been kind of going on. Let's take a look here. I think there was a 4K movie, Ultra HD, called The Island. Yeah, you know what? Let's just, when in doubt, just search The Island. There it is. All right, so what we have is Ultra HD 4K. It's 5.1. By the way, the sound coming through is through the ARC channel on my receiver. So even though I don't have that hooked up to the TV, I am picking up. All right, sounds pretty good. I'm gonna watch it for some period of time to see if there's any video glitches, but right now there aren't any. I'm standing right in front of it. Hang on, let me get right in front of it here, and I'll hit play again. There we had a little bit of a glitch. But then again, I was standing in front of it. If I move over directly in front of it. Hello? The audio sounds really good, except for those glitches. Alright, so that's that. At least it's working. I got 4K going to it wirelessly. This is 30 hertz 4K. Okay, so I've actually moved it into the kitchen, and you can see there's that couch in the way. Let me walk over here, and yeah, you can see where it is. It's a little bit further, and there's a little bit of stuff in the way, and we still have a picture on screen. When I walked over there and unplugged it, the picture went away. Now let me walk over and pick up a remote and see if I can control it from over. Wrong remote. Sorry, I'm kind of wiggling this thing all over the place. Alright, so the remote's in the other room, the Apple TV's in the other room, and I'm here, and I can still kind of control the Apple TV. Let's bring up Netflix again. And let's go back to that island. And we'll fast forward a ways into it.
Just show them. Why don't you put the knife down, okay? Clearly don't know how to hold one. Can you tell me something?
How would you know a thing like that, huh? How would you know?
All right, I'm gonna have to give this thing a thumbs up. If you are looking for a way to get wireless 4K content across the room without having to pull wire through walls or anything, and as long as you're in the same room or got a big opening to the room next to you, I think this is the way to go. All right, I'll talk a bit more about it on the show with Braden, but so if you're only watching the video, give it a thumbs up.